Is it time to sell Erling Haaland, and if so, what kind of structure am I going to move towards in the next few weeks of FPL? Let's take a look in another Fantasy Premier League video. Now, game week 11 for me was one of the most disappointing and frustrating game weeks I've had in FPL in a long time, and it's clear to see why that was the case when you look at the points total and how my overall team performed that game week. I'm going to quickly overview the squad, and then we're going to look towards the next section of the video, which is the bulk of the video, my transfer plans for game week 12. How I plan to move forward in FPL and get back up to the top ranks in the world. So, overall with the defence, Robinson on the bench outscored my entire defence by 1 point. And I think that tells you a lot about how the defence performed this game week. The biggest frustration for me, however, was Trent Alexander-Arnold missing out on that Liverpool clean sheet, coming off early with that injury. A real disappointment. Across the midfield, Brennan Johnson comes to mind as a disappointment because, look, he was playing a newly promoted side and had a great chance. Just didn't come off well in the particular week. And Buemo coming away with an assist, no bonus points. And up front, Haaland getting the goal, and again, no bonus points. The question is, how can I plan to move forward from this game week and get back up to the best ranks in the world? Well, let's take a look in the next section of the video. Now, to start off this transfer plan section of the video, I'm going to identify the players that I could possibly sell this game week. There's a total of 4 players on my potential hit list this game week, and we're starting off with Trent Alexander-Arnold. The sort of doubts with his injury, the fact that he might not start against Southampton, or the fixture after, I think is a clear indication that it's probably time to move away from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Brennan Johnson next on this list. I feel as though last week, his Ipswich away from home fixture was probably going to be his last fixture for me anyway in my initial plans. Funny enough, Ollie Watkins is on this hit list as well. I feel as though it will be more explained as I move on to the Fantasy Football Hub planning tool of why Ollie Watkins could leave the squad, especially with his good fixture run coming up. You might wonder why he would be leaving the squad, but all will be revealed in just a moment. And of course, Erling Haaland is on that hit list for obvious reasons. So let's take a look now at Fantasy Football Hub and sort of the few options I have for transfer plans going in to Game Week 12. Here we are on Fantasy Football Hub, and the main discussion I want to have here is, do I keep Erling Haaland or do I sell him? For me, it's a good week for Erling Haaland this game week. We have to be really honest with ourselves. We have to ignore the previous game weeks and understand that Spurs could be missing Van de Ven and Romero. They play a very stubborn high line and are reluctant to change against any football team. And of course, Erling Haaland could have De Bruyne back in the side, which is someone I think City have been missing so terribly. So, look, it's a good fixture for Erling Haaland this week. I just think there's more upside in selling him this game week, to be really honest with you, with my particular FPL team in any case. And I'm going to show you the draft that I would move towards in the next few weeks. It's really between 3 people in this forward spot if I sold Erling Haaland. Isak, Nicholas Jackson, and João Pedro. Isak has been fantastic. He's got good fixtures coming up, but if I want to be able to move to Saka easily in the next few weeks, I would have to move in Nicholas Jackson here. Selling Brennan Johnson allows me, of course, to get Mohamed Salah here, and I could just leave it at that with my 2 free transfers. With Rico Lewis on the bench here, of course, he would come in, Trent would go to the bench, but I'm just not too sure how good of an option Rico Lewis is against Spurs at home, and of course, he could play in that sort of middle pivot position, which doesn't really allow him to get as forward as he does when he plays that right-back position. So selling Trent would also allow me to, get more money in the bank. So getting someone like Lewis Dunk in, someone like Hall as well, I quite like the look of. But I think Lewis Dunk is a little bit more of a solid option long term. Better fixtures over that sort of next run of games, sort of next 8 or so game weeks, as you can see here. That would be game week 12, taking a -4 hit, but moving into some players that I really like the look of. Game week 13, what that would allow me to do is sort of assess which Brighton forward looks the best. For me, it's probably going to be João Pedro, if I'm being really honest with you. The penalties are a really big factor in that over Welbeck, and of course Welbeck is a little bit pricier at this moment in time. And then in game week 14, of course, getting Nicholas Jackson over Isak will allow me to get Saka in this particular game week ready, obviously, for the good fixtures coming up for Arsenal. So, yeah, that's what the team would look like in the next few weeks, selling Erling Haaland. Of course, it's always going to be daunting selling someone like Erling Haaland, but I think the upside is huge because I can move to a structure where I've got 3 premiums across the midfield, good bench coverage, and sort of forward options that are facing newly promoted sides coming up. So obviously, Nicholas Jackson this particular week would have Southampton away, and then Watkins in game week 15 would have Southampton at home, and of course Rodgers as well sitting on the bench. For me, this is probably the way I'm going to go. Obviously, we've still got a lot of information to wait on, injury news and other things. If it's the case that Trent is available somehow, you know, I could keep him and not take that -4 in that game week 12 sort of transfer plans I have. But yeah, that is how I could be looking in the next few weeks of FPL. Let me know what you think of my moves and what moves are you making this game week. To outro every video, of course, I like to give you guys at home a big thank you for supporting the FPL Mogs YouTube channel. If you have enjoyed today's video, drop a like, and if you want more FPL content, do feel free to subscribe to the channel for weekly FPL videos and deadline streams. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.